Hello. There's a lot of confusion, and it's very difficult to understand what is happening, who is who, and who is where, and what it all is about. A lot has gone into a sequence which is predetermined. So the events tend to be devoid of the time we human beings normally take for consideration, for weighing things, for understanding what is really going on, for trying to think of the consequences, for trying to arrive at the truth of what we are really dealing with. And that has caused a lot of hostility between people who are normally not enemies. In our natural state, we human beings grow out of a family. So for a normal human being, parents, the biological parents, are vitally important. And the same, of course, concerns children, sisters, brothers, family in general. Of course, we have our problems within family, but these are natural blood affinities. And there's more to it than just blood affinity. These are genes. This is our species. This is what we carry on, and it is very important for us that we live as human beings. It's very difficult to understand what has happened to the human mind, whether it was some exterior influence that set the minds on the way to self-destruction. The self-destruction that has reached the point when we, the sane people, the natural people, can hardly do anything about it because we do not have the choice. Our bodies have been damaged, have been tainted. In many cases, if not in all, destroyed, as the natural human body. That poses questions that we had not dealt with before. It is extremely difficult to orient oneself with regard to predominant ideologies nowadays that take over people's decision centers, the brain, which we use normally to view the situation and make our own judgments. So overall, the key idea is confusion, and I'm pretty certain you can understand what happens when there is confusion. But equally bad is the other thing, that is the order that is predetermined but has errors in it. So this is like a powerful mechanism that will achieve its end, but will never pause to think and will not correct itself. If this statement is incorrect, you can always correct my thinking about it by showing me this is not true, or explaining, which is probably better, because showing things nowadays has reached the scale of complete destruction. On my part, Agnieszka Beata Magdalena Rojek speaking, and Agnieszka Beata Rojek and Agnieszka Beata Magdalena Rojek as the source. I do not read certain symbols. I do not have the knowledge. But just in case, I would like to make certain points clear. I shall maintain the position of trust in the real monarchy, where the rule comes straight from God, because I believe in it. So I shall not join communists. As concerns our religions, me being born in Poland, naturally becoming the Roman Catholic by baptism, and I did not go through the process of official resignation from the membership in the church. We believe in God, and this is the only reality. So we shall not go to the other side, no matter the conditions. I, Agnieszka Beata Magdalena Rojek, believe that my church is guilty of serious crimes, including the crimes on the spiritual level, which might result from two things. One being the misunderstanding of the Word of God, and another being one of our human vices, greed for power, influence, and riches probably as well. The lands, the sense of possession, the rule, and also the certainty that our culture, what we have taken as the truth, is the only correct and godly, which is implied historically, order of the world. There are also other transgressions, which is the third factor, of a lower order perhaps. Nonetheless, even if we were to uproot the Roman Catholic Church at one point, we shall not lose our faith in God. whatever might have been done on the way, whatsoever manipulations of the Holy Creed, whatsoever possible manipulations of the Bible, whatsoever manipulations through translations, which are easy to prove nowadays, even taking the latest translations, not going back to the ages that have passed. Whatsoever problems we might have with the organization of the community called the church, we shall not lose or deny our faith in God. And should we ever find ourselves in the position of denying it, it would not be true, but only false. Enforced by means that we do not consider honorable. There are also other religious orders which do not take God as the source, but view the spirituality, our spirituality realized in our human lives differently. But we belong to one spiritual family, and personally, as Agnieszka Bata Magdalena Rojek, I doubt there is any other order of the world, whatever the physical appearance. I, Agnieszka Bata Magdalena Rojek, believe that what we have come to call as communism, what we have come to call communism or fascism, is the opposite of what we live, and strikes at our life directly in the suppressive power over the spirit. In other words, from me, there is the spiritual life of the human being, and there is the biological one. And both are vitally important for the human race. I'm not sure if that is complete in the presentation of my standpoint. But this is what I obviously necessarily must say and uphold. And perhaps I will stop at this point. If something else appears, I might make another recording to fill in the missing information. I represent the noble kingdom of Agnipolitania, the virginal spiritual presence on the planet Earth that I had been honored to call into life. And as the Queen, I'm going to represent the pure value. Agnieszka Beata Magdalena Roy, or Agnieszka Justitia the First of Agnipolitania, the noble Queen, the guardianess of truth and justice, the protectress of the pure value, the Virgin. The 21st of June 2021, 24 past 1 p.m. in Krakow, Poland. Let me fill in another bit of information. Apart from our life, the human life, it is vitally important for us that other life forms naturally belonging to the planet Earth can live too in their natural bodies as the natural species. And of course, for that we also need the environment. I do not have the specialist knowledge of the ecosystem, but I do know that a violation of the ecosystem is like a destruction caused to an individual organism. And we, the human beings, are naturally individuals with the unique bodies resulting from the unique genetic code. I do not have the specialist knowledge on animals, so I do not know if each and every has a unique genetic code. However, the original order from the creation of God is the natural state on the planet Earth. And I believe no species or civilization would like to lose that natural life in the heart of their hearts. Agnieszka Beata Magdalena Roy, Agnieszka Justitia the First of Agnipolitania. Let me add another piece of information to all that. In the new translation of the Holy Bible, when we go through the act of creation in Polish, we read some omissions from the original, which basically concern the beings called to life by God in the first place. So perhaps apart from those creatures that we know as the natural species, there are other creatures of which we are not aware, but they belong to the creation of God as well, and thus they belong to the planet Earth. Furthermore, there might have been different developments, so that all creates life on Earth. And again, with the reservation and qualification of me not having the specialist knowledge of that part of life, it still belongs to the order and the values, the creed we all, the human beings, naturally in our sane state share. Agnieszka Barta Magdalena Rojek, The Noble Queendom of Agnipoli, 19 to 1 to 2 p.m.